All right, so I'm here with, should I say Notorious or PBK?
Notorious is fine. PBK, one half of PBK, Pretty Boy Killers is fine. Ring of Honor superstar, baddest dude ever walking the face of the planet works. I mean, it's all good, man.
You're a bad dude though, but you got this easygoing voice though. I can actually say, and people seeing your videos and your Facebook and everything. Mm-hmm. So like,
yeah, man,
you're one of those Teddy Roosevelt type guys, I would say.
Yes, big softly carry a big stick, yeah, or hit really hard. In my case,
yeah,
but in any point, like I was telling you before, being from Cleveland and growing up in a city like that, not a lot of talking gets done in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. A lot of action gets done. So
what about LeBron?
Hey man, he won his championship, right? So action got done. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
the Indians, I never heard anything about the Indians.
It's too soon to bring that up.
Oh, okay. Wait. But look, I'm an Orioles fan, so we get shut out early.
Listen. I still have beef with Cole Cabana because of that World Series. He brings it up every time I see him.
Did you bet him?
No, I didn't bet him.
Okay.
But I mean, still. But the emotional scar is still there. So
wait a minute. So I think the Cubs came back and won. They were down. I think.
I saw the series.
I don't know because I know that everybody wanted the Cubs to win because of the whole Back to the Future, but that was the season before.
Yes.
But it was something about Chicago and Cleveland, and LeBron was at the game, and I forget what it was, but I know Cubs won, and it was like a mega explosion because they never won in 100 years.
Well, yeah, but all right. So the thing was, I believe it was 108 years since they had last won a World Series, right? Mm-hmm. But in 2005, the Chicago White Sox won the World Series.
Yes.
So as far as I'm concerned, the city of Chicago had a World Series.
Okay.
Don't really care about the Cubs.
Okay.
Like, just because you live on one side of the city, you're sitting there going, well, we didn't win. Like, shut up. I don't care. Cleveland hadn't won a World Series in like 67 years or something like that. So as far as a city with a championship, and granted, I know the Cavs just won the NBA title, so
they haven't had a championship before the Cavs. They never had a championship
since '64.
Yes,
since '64,
and they made a documentary about that.
Yeah,
and it goes together with
on Netflix. Believeland. It's
not
fantastic.
Not anymore.
It's not on anymore.
They took all the 30 for 30 off.
Oh, I'm mad.
It's one of my favorite series.
I had like all of them saved on my Netflix on my list.
I did too. One of my favorites was Broke. I saw Broke.
I saw that. One of mine was Winning Time. The Reggie Miller.
Oh man!
Against the Knicks. When it was him and Spike Lee and all that. Like,
94, 95.
Bro, that was one of my... I could watch that all day, every day, and it would always be entertaining.
See, they play that drama to the point where you just got invested into it, even if you didn't live through it.
That's what we do, man. That's pro wrestling in basketball form.
Well, then again, I witnessed pro wrestling in basketball form that they need to do a documentary off of, and that was the Malice at the Palace with Ron Artest before he changed his name.
Listen, man.
I saw that live. I could not believe that. My jaw dropped.
Listen, does Ron Artest look like a guy that you should throw drinks on?
Absolutely not.
I
wouldn't throw drinks on any NBA player.
Not you. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, in general. Like, there are just certain people that you can see and you'd be like, all right, you know what? It's probably not a good idea to mess with them. Like, he seems like one of those dudes. Like, he doesn't seem like a guy that is like, you're sitting there going, you know what? Yeah, it's a good idea to throw a drink on him because what is he going to do? No, bad idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then him and the Pacers, and I do believe the Pistons went off and damn near beat up an entire arena full of people.
And it was a whole bunch of litigation during the season, and
sure.
Thankfully nobody, not one of those teams won a championship. Actually, the thing about it, the Pistons just won a championship beating the Lakers, which I was shocked because the Lakers had an A squad and the Pistons were just like B and C listers, but they had fundamentals and game.
Detroit basketball. That defense, man, was sick. Trust me, they beat some good Cavs teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting back and I was like, hey, man, you had to give it to them. Because they won back-to-back, right?
Detroit didn't.
No?
They had that 1 year, and then I think the 2000s it was mostly Spurs.
Yeah,
it was because Spurs.
I could have swore they won twice, but maybe it wasn't back. Maybe it was one off and then one again, but maybe it was just one.
Because the Spurs had a fundamental team, but they were never flashy. They were boring. They just had all the tools to win games, which matters though. I mean, because it's not professional wrestling where you could be a wrestler then you can win all the titles unless you got to have a certain gimmick next to you. I never heard of a plain Joe wrestler that.
I mean, Bret Hart was plain. Bret Hart was.
That was one of my. That is like my idol growing up.
I'm not saying anything wrong about that. I'm saying he was. If you look at a guy who was cut and dry, hey, this is just a good guy, great wrestler. He had, yes, he wore the bright pink, but I mean, look at his attitude, the way he carried himself. He wasn't over the top anything. He was just a confident guy who went out and wrestled great and was beloved by millions of people. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't anything like that. He was just.
Yeah, he didn't tell people to say your prayers and take your vitamins.
Yeah, he didn't
go screw somebody's wife.
The best there is, I don't know anything about that.
Well, Jake Roberts said that in an early episode.
Hey, I can't comment on that. That's not my business.
Yeah.
All I know is, in talking about this, he was, he had his line, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And he had a quiet confidence about him and went out and did his thing every single night. Technically sound, fundamental wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Spurs, if you're talking about basketball. Tim Duncan's nickname is the Big Fundamental.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of guys do backboard jump shots. He does. Why? Because they have a higher probability of going in. So, it's just one of those things. Yeah, it's not flashy. Yeah, it's not like Golden State shooting 83 pointers a game.
He is one of the most boringest. He's one of the most boringest salary. I can't say it right, but he's one of the most boringest successful basketball players ever. Period. But he wins games.
But he can be boring all the way to the bank. He can be boring.
Not one scandal.
All the way to max contracts. He can be boring all the way to every endorsement deal he's ever had. He can be boring all the way to those 5 championships. He can be boring all the way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But that's where he is.
And then there's another player on the Spurs that I forget. I saw the news about him that he has like a small house and
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. I love that. I don't even know that guy, and I love that guy.
Already's got like a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a little truck, and he's making millions of dollars.
And
and putting it away. He's not that flashy.
Because he's intelligent.
I like it.
We're all in this world of we need to not only have what we have, but show people what we have, as if somehow that, makes us more relevant and makes us more makes us more meaningful as people. And it doesn't. All you're doing is wasting your money.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys in indie wrestling that we know that never made it or haven't made it, and they just act like they're the big spender, the big ballers, and they take that check from their promoter or that cash from the promoter, and they just blow it all. I mean, like Triple H say, Nation it up. No disrespect to Ric Flair, but also, I wish they come back with the 30 for 30 so they can put the Flair doc up, because I haven't seen that one.
I feel like it'll probably be on there. I don't know why they took it off Netflix, but maybe.
I guess it must be
soon we'll get it back.
I guess it must be the download feature, because
maybe
it's not a download where you can download it to your device. It's just that you can just watch it offline. Because I did that with Triple X on the plane to Florida.
Right.
And even though this interview is pretty dated, I did watch all 5 episodes of the Get Down Part 2.
I haven't seen that.
Well, it's only today.
And, it's on today. Okay.
Yeah, and I just watched it because I just had a open day. But anyway, Cleveland.
Yes.
How is Cleveland compared to when you grew up?
Cleveland now, as opposed to when I grew up? Well, Cleveland now, man, it's still tough. It's not easy to grow up in Cleveland. And it has nothing to do with the sports jokes or anything else like that. You're talking about a very blue collar city, full of hard working people, a lot of adversity, a lot of a lot of poor people that are just trying to make it. High crime rate, because when you talk about anywhere with not a lot of jobs, not a lot of money, not a lot of resources, you're going to see higher crime rates. When I was growing up,
that is true.
When I was growing up, it was just on the east side, was consistently top 5 in like crime rate, murder rate, and for being a smaller city compared to like your Houstons or your New Yorks or your Chicagos or things like that. That's a crazy amount for that area. And I grew up in a time where they weren't trying to fix it. They had kind of given up hope. Kind of like they do with Detroit now.
That and Flint.
Yeah.
They still ain't got the water fixed, and it's been a year.
But they found Tom Brady's jersey, so there you go.
Also, they found time to say that. Also, not for the kids that listen to this, but they also found time to pass a law about oral and anal sex. But they can't fix the water.
Priorities. But yeah, man. So I mean, just growing up in a city like that, you grow very, very close to those around you. Me personally, I've seen more than my fair share of death there.
It's gonna be horrible.
You know what? This is the thing, man. Anything that happens to you in life, you choose how to react to it. You choose how it affects you. You can choose to let it bother you and hinder you, or you can use it to your advantage. Before I was 16, I'd probably been to over 100 funerals. Whether it's friends, family, people getting shot and killed in the street, people getting jumps, the whole 9 yards, drug use, the whole deal, right? And I saw what was waiting for me if I continued to do the same things that I had seen people do before me. And I remember my dad sit me down after I had gotten in some kind of trouble, and he sat me down and said, look, either you're going to choose this life, and I'll show you how to do it, or you can be a better man than me and make something of yourself. And hearing that from him, my dad is, a superhero to me. That's what I chose to do. The first one in my family to go to college, the first one to graduate from college.
What did you graduate with?
I with a bachelor's in business management.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's the key to this, man. Build your brand, work for yourself, be your own boss. Make a path for others to follow. Not just to stay in this hamster wheel.
So I got two brand building management guys that I know right now. You and Gary Michael Capetta, who teaches about building brands. Because I'm always looking forward to build a brand every day. At least about, not to sound egotistical, but like gain a fan every day.
Oh, for sure.
And in this world, it's very difficult to do. You got to have the right content to win people over. You got to have the right words. It goes down to that. Because we live in an 80s society where it's like we need content now. We need to do this. We need to do that. And a lot of the bad things that we have are actually number one. We got the girl from Dr. Phil, Cash Me Outside. She's like, I think last time I checked, she like 8 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And just for that little line, it just blew up.
Human nature, brother. We want to see, for as much as people sit back and say they don't want to see bad things, they thrive off of it. They thrive off of car crashes. That's why you see traffic slowing down, because people want to go look over and rubberneck and see what's going on. If you really didn't want to see something tragic, you just keep driving. You wouldn't slow down. You would sit there and go, hey, I hope they're all right, and keep it moving. But you don't. You sit there and you look and you see, because you want to see something tragic. You watch NASCAR. Why? Just to see them go in a circle? No, you want to see a crash.
It's the whole train wreck theory. It's just like, somebody bringing a donkey show or something, and
whoa,
you don't want to see.
Whoa.
Well, you seen Clerks too.
I have.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Because
that was a big jump from NASCAR, though.
Oh yeah, it was.
You went straight from NASCAR to donkey show. I mean,
well, it's just like boxing, where like you think it's a sport, but no, you want to see somebody get the crap kicked out of them. Like,
which is why so many people hate my boy Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, TMT.
Oh my God,
greatest boxer of all time.
Well, matter of fact, he is though.
Yes, he is.
He is the greatest boxer of all time. I'm not a fan of his because I don't like the show off part about it. But when it comes to being in the ring, he can actually do it.
Yeah. Which is why people hate him so much, because you want him to lose.
Well,
and he doesn't.
It's just the cocky. It's just the cocky style outside the ring that I want him to lose. The inside part is just like, you do what you do, you making money. Which he's made all the money. Now he's coming back to fight Conor McGregor, which that's, to me, that is boxing MMA version of Chris Brown and Soulja Boy, which I'm glad that never is gonna happen, because that was a train wreck. If you want to talk about train wrecks,
it was. But this is my take on the Floyd thing. You've got the UFC, which is an entity unto itself.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the last 2 huge stars they've had, like not counting John Jones, but you look at Rousey, you look at McGregor, and both of them in some way, shape, or form have benefited their careers by mentioning Floyd Mayweather. Everybody thought, and everybody pushed it down our throat, that somehow Ronda Rousey was better than Floyd, that somehow she was going to be able to beat down and beat up the greatest boxer of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that drove her career, that drove her stardom. Now, granted, she did. I'm not saying that's the only thing. She did a lot of great things by herself. She performed beautifully for the opponents that they gave her.
Except for 2.
But a lot of the hype mm-hmm. came from, can she beat Floyd? Mm-hmm. Talking trash to Floyd at the ESPYs, getting everybody behind her, and it turns out, she can't really throw hands. So I mean,
no, she's a grappler.
How are you supposed to throw hands against the best boxer in the world? And let's be honest, to grapple, you have to be in range of getting hit.
Yeah. pretty much.
I mean, so
we're gonna have to get what's her name, Nunes, to fight Mayweather.
She's not getting in there with Floyd either.
She's a striker.
She's
a hellified striker.
Let's just be real about a lot of this stuff, man. Like, there's just, do not put yourself in that situation. You have very talented people out there, and you have very talented people who can do a lot of great things. Mm-hmm. But just because you can box doesn't mean you should get in the ring with Ali. Period. And I don't care what you're talking about.
Tyson.
I don't care what you're talking about. Like, just because you can play football doesn't mean you can tell Tom Brady how to play. Just because you can do some tricks with a basketball doesn't mean you should tell Jordan what to do in the fourth quarter. Like, there's some lanes you just need to stay out of. Fighting Floyd is one of those lanes. Just stay out of it. If you're not the next best boxer, like if you're not Andre Ward, don't talk about fighting Floyd Mayweather. Just don't. Like,
you're a Brady fan, aren't you?
A Tom Brady fan?
Yeah.
Hell no.
I'm
a Cleveland Browns fan. Bro.
Okay.
I just say that because Tom Brady is a very recognizable name.
Yeah.
And they did just win the Super Bowl, so that's just the first thing that came to mind.
Were you with me on the Atlanta Falcons tip, or?
Bro, I thought they had it. I thought they had it, and it was looking good. And I'm just sitting back going, yo, them Patriots are about to be real mad. And shout out to my man George Carroll and Scott Summers, both big Pats fans. And I was getting ready to call them and be like, yo, your boys are getting spanked, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
halftime was 28-3.
Trying to talk a little trash. But I was like, wait a minute. This is still Patriots. Let me hold off until the actual game is over. And they pulled that babyface comeback, brother. They came back. they had
a Hulk Hogan comeback.
Bro, they came back. They went 0-0 and just.
That was a 1980s Hulk Hogan comeback.
It was.
Hulk up,
it was
fist,
boot, leg drop, game, and I was like, what?
Over. Yeah,
and just, man, it was crazy.
I mean, I guess, the way you're talking is like the greatest of all time. It's like we always want to see the greatest person at their craft and their game get beat.
Well, that
it happens to a lot of people.
Well, yeah, but that's because a lot of people are haters. A lot of people don't find greatness within themselves, so they need to see greatness fall in order to make themselves feel as though those people are more relatable to them.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not a LeBron James fan. Like, I think he is very talented. It's not like I can put on basketball gear and I can square him in the court, because I can't.
No,
not at all. An act of God would have to help me do that.
And then some.
Yeah, an act of God would have to help me do that. No, it's just that LeBron, he's great. I remember when he first started, when he just got out of high school, he shot up there to leagues, and everybody was praising his name and this and that. And I'm just like, let's wait until he gets on the court and see what he can do, because sometimes high school and NBA are two different levels.
Absolutely.
And he did his thing. I mean, Cleveland came out of a slump that they did, and I think they barely missed the playoffs the first year. And now he's like the superstar. He's making all the money.
6 straight finals or something like that. 5 or 6 straight NBA finals.
Wait a minute. Did he make the finals before he left?
No, but he made 4 straight.
He made with the Heat.
4 straight with the Heat. They went to the finals with the Cavs the first year and lost to the Warriors when Kyrie and Love were hurt. Then they came back and won it the second time in the second year. So he's been to 6 straight NBA finals.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to rip from WWE, but you can't teach that.
Can't.
But the thing is that I've been called a LeBron hater. Like, I'm not saying I hate LeBron. I'm just saying,
you like Skip Bayless.
Do what?
So you like Skip Bayless.
No, I'm more for what's his name?
Stephen
A. Smith. Even though he makes me laugh almost every rant he has. Every other rant, he just makes me laugh.
He's so entertaining.
But he makes money though. Like
he's so entertaining.
Now Skip Bayless is with Shannon Sharpe, but I haven't caught on to the material yet.
Shannon Sharpe is that dude, man. Like he's had multiple videos that I've shared, just hitting the nail on the head about a lot of real topics.
I heard about one where he was like, "Don't tell us how to mourn," and it was like a police issue or something, and people were like telling us like stop, thinking about it. He was just like, no, you don't tell us how to feel. And I caught that video.
Oh, there's been a lot. There's like the one he just had with Kaepernick on that subject, and a lot of the questions that he asks, which a lot of people ask. Everybody wants to say, hey, well, you shouldn't protest like this, or you shouldn't protest like that, or you shouldn't protest like this. And you go, oh, okay, well, what's the right way? What would make you happy? And they never have an answer for you, because a lot of people just don't want to hear about the problem, and they don't want to confront it, and they don't want to have the conversation. They would much rather it just go away. But it's not going to go away.
A lot of things in life don't go away just by ignoring it. Not to push it to this issue, but Colin Kaepernick, right now, he doesn't have a job. No team will pick him up. And I think personally it's political because of that stance. If he would just had a bad year at San Francisco that he had, then somebody would have picked him up. They're considering picking up Johnny Manziel more than Colin Kaepernick, so there's a problem.
This is a multifaceted issue. First off, yeah, he's had the bad play, but if Mark Sanchez is still playing in the NFL,
that's another one too.
Then there's room for Colin Kaepernick.
He had an okay year with Buffalo. Like, he wasn't the joke that he was with the Jets.
If Mark Sanchez is playing, there's room for Colin Kaepernick. Okay. Or Blaine Gabbert. I haven't seen, like, Blaine Gabbert came in to play for him and was terrible, and they put Kaepernick back in. But yeah, like, I mean, he's had some rough years, but you got to look at that Niners team as a whole, and they're not very good. Their O-line is suspect.
Torrey Smith came back to the Eagles, at least to the East Coast.
Carlos Hyde, Ohio State guy. Shout out to the Buckeyes.
You're that guy too?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's another team to be hated. Like,
hey, bro, people listen. You know why? You know why? You know why so many people are hated from Ohio? Whether it's Big Ben, even though he plays for the Steelers,
he's from Ohio.
From Findlay, baby.
Oh my God.
Miami of Ohio.
Oh man.
Redbird.
So it's Brian Pillman
or something like that. Yeah. Brian Pillman.
One of my favorite guys.
Cincinnati. And LeBron James. Carlos Hyde. We played for Ohio State.
But then again, I don't hate you. And then also, I think Faye Jackson is from Ohio too.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the hate that they have for things from Ohio. It's because we breed greatness. People are always like, oh, well, you need to go to New York or you need to go to one. No, it's Ohio. Ohio is the heart of it all. Ohio is where all the greats are.
Mm-hmm. Ezekiel Elliott, at least he came out of Ohio State.
Ohio State.
I can't stand
tearing it up.
Oh, I can't stand him as far as the midriff.
See, it's more Ohio hate.
But he can play. But he is a beast. I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to be prevalent as long as Dak and Elliott are really healthy.
I'm
interested.
Had a great
year last year.
I'm interested to see how Dak progresses without Tony Romo being that sideline coach. Because this is the thing.
Good point.
You have a guy in Tony Romo who has been there, who has done that, who has played, who's been a Pro Bowler, the whole nine, and that is such a different mindset to have than just a normal coach. To see someone and have someone right behind you to be able to say, hey, look, this, and this. Watch out for this. This is coming. This is what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. And prepare you for that. And give you coaching and give you advice and give you a game plan right there on the sideline in the moment versus not having that voice there and you having to do those things yourself. So I'm very anxious to see how Dak progresses without that tool in his belt.
Honestly, I never thought about this, but Romo on the sideline and Dak playing quarterback, it reminds me of Any Given Sunday a little bit.
Kind of.
It does.
Yeah,
but also, to tell fans this, that Shane is wearing a Cleveland hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
So he reps Cleveland like...
Shout out to CLE Clothing Company, one of the best clothing stores in the nation, in the world. Yeah, that'd be good to get a sponsorship from them.
No, I think they should.
Their stuff.
I think anybody that comes out of Cleveland should get some kind of sponsorship from a clothing company like CLE.
Hey, good.
Also, I interviewed months ago John Hinton from Living Single. He's from Cleveland.
Yeah. Told you, baby. Ohio greatness.
I tried talking to him the whole season. He's a cool guy. I tried talking to him the whole season. It was a season where Cleveland couldn't even buy a win, and then for some reason one game they got to win, and they celebrated like who's on Hanukkah stole Christmas.
That Dolphins missed kick, baby.
My God!
I saw it. Won money off that game. Not saying that it's right to gamble. Don't do it. But
No.
But it was like $5. But still.
Did anybody ride you off of that? Like fall season?
Yes. You know why?
Anybody famous? Not to sound like our video, but anybody in the business ride you off?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, because we all talk trash about our sports teams.
Okay.
Like, Kenny King is a huge football guy, so me and him talk a lot of trash. As well as Ray Rowe. We talk trash constantly. If you didn't know Ray and I, you would think we hate each other. But that, like the way we talk trash. But I am a very proud Cleveland fan. Mm-hmm. Whether we're doing good or bad, I'm gonna be running my mouth and I'm gonna be talking all kind of trash.
You're gonna rep the orange and brown.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm gonna talk trash for as long as I can.
Okay.
As loud as I can, and when they lose, if they lose in the fashion that it comes in. Mm-hmm. You gotta eat crow sometimes, so people are more than willing to give it back to me, and but that's the fun of it. You know what I mean?
You ate a family dinner, basically for a couple years now.
Yeah.
Of crows. So
a whole buffet's worth of crows. I was eating.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel. Now you have. Everybody hates that guy. RG3, which my mother is a Redskins fan, and they kicked him out of DC, and now he's in Cleveland.
I think he's gone again though.
Oh, he is?
He might be.
I thought he had 2 years.
I'm not sure. Don't quote me.
Okay.
I said he might be, but I know he was hurt for the majority of last year, and I know that was an issue for him prior to.
I was wishing him well. As far as like getting numbers and I thought Washington wasn't for him. A lot of times with certain players, the team is not for you. You had to go somewhere else and you flourish.
But I think it comes down to his choices, man. Like I saw the play he got hurt on, and I would never wish injury on anybody. but he could have easily just went out of bounds. He took an unnecessary hit and got hurt.
Well, you saw it his first year. He took a hit from Haloti Ngata. His
Again,
leg jerked in and out.
And like another one of those, like he could have went down at any point in time. Now that's just a freak thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it happens. Like you just have to be smarter with your body, especially knowing that. Not saying he's fragile, but when you're prone to injury, you have to make better choices.
But now.